Amy and welcome to my cross stitching channel, or welcome back if you're a returning viewer. This is round 2 trying to film this video. Apparently had some formatting wrong and editing was just not happening, so I get to re-record. Yay. I just get to look at all my projects again, so that's fun. So anyway, I am here today for a 2025 mid-year WIP parade. I know it's been several months. I apologize for my lengthy absence. If you've been around or if you haven't, I'm currently in school on top of my full-time job, so it takes quite a bit of my free time. I have actually stitched quite a bit more than I thought I was over the last several months, but the updating social media stuff hasn't really been happening. So I thought, since I had some time and I'm getting ready to finish the first block of this semester, so my free time has opened up a bit, that I would go ahead and record a video today. So I hope that you guys are excited to see everything I've gotten done, and let's jump right in. So I have 9 WIPs that I've been working on. There are no starts, there are no finishes. We just got works in progress today, so I have nothing else to show besides that. So let's go ahead and start. If you've been around for a minute, you know that the first one I usually do is Tarot Town 2, which is a full coverage design by Ciro Marchetti, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a big project, so I apologize. I have to wrangle the fabric here. So I am currently at 43.15% done with this, and I am stitching it on a 25 count DMC Magic Guide 1/1 full crosses. And my chart version is the regular chart, but max color. I always forget to say that. So I'm gonna go ahead and, so the comparison pictures you're gonna see here are from the first of the year, so not since last time, which was only a couple months after that. So it'll be from my last WIP parade, which I believe was like right at the end or beginning. So like right at the first of the year. I can't remember if it was just before the end of the year or at the very beginning of the year. Either way, it'll be from the start of the year, not from the last time you saw it. So there will be a little bit of a difference between those, but I want people to be able to, because I know WIP parades are really popular, so I just want people, if they've never seen my stuff before, to just be able to jump right in and see where I'm at. So all that to say, here's Tarot Town 2, and I'm actually going to show you the before picture real quick, because this is way too big for me to show all together anymore. So that was from the first of the year, and here we are now. It's really hard to get this in the frame anymore. So from my last video, I have stitched 10,458 stitches. And for the whole year, I've stitched 13,107 on this. So definitely made a big leap of progress there. Since this is this is my oldest WIP, and I've been working on it for just shy of 6 years, I've been trying to get a little bit more work done on it. So I love how it's turning out. That rainbow across is just so cool looking. So from last time, I will show a little bit of like close-ups of what I've done, but so from last time, I was working on this side of the chart, and I was still working in this page. So I finished this page, and then I came over and just finished, because this was so much just like background, it went pretty quick. So I finished this page, so I have finished 2 pages officially on this one for the row finish, which is exciting. And then when I was done with that, I came back over to the other side. Don't like to stick in one spot for too long on this because I start getting a little bit burnt out. So I came back to this side to work on this page. I hadn't had too much done on this page. I think it was just like this gray here at the top. So I finished this page as well. Holy light colors, Batman. That was really hard to see sometimes. So I finished this page, and then I have gone into this next page here at the top. Mostly this yellow, but a couple of colors up here too. And I have finished a couple colors since last time, so I think 2, maybe 3. So that is all I've gotten done on that one, which I say that like it wasn't a lot. It was a lot, over 10,000 stitches since last time you saw it. So some good progress on that one. Trying to move it along. I would like to see this one finished before I turn 40. So as early as possible, but definitely before I turn 40. Okay, so that was Tarot Town 2. Next up is Beloved, another Heaven and Earth Designs chart. This artist is Adele Sessler. And I am stitching mine on a 28 count Lugana 1/1 full cross. And I'm currently sitting at 17.34% complete. And here we are from the first of the year. You should hopefully be seeing a comparison photo. So from my last video, I have put in 2,835 stitches for a total yearly of 5,937. So definitely not as much love as Tarot Town 2, but that's okay. I'm kind of trying to push the older ones forward. So I did get a page finish on this one. The last time I showed it, I was finishing up this page, and it is a bit hard to see because the colors are so light. So there's a lot of like 3865, I think it is in there. So I finished off that page, and then I came up to this page and started doing a lot of this black, and then I got kind of burnt out on it, like to the point where I almost UFO'd this. So I put it away for a while, and then during a documentary I had to watch for school, I pulled it out because it seemed easy and I wanted to work on it. So I came down here and I started filling in a lot of this. I think it's like 414 in the background. It's just easy going back and forth. And then added some of the darker grays in here. And then it was bugging me that there was like a harsh line across his chin. So I added some more to get that rounded out. So I think it is a beautiful design. I'm excited to get some more into this one. Generally takes a back seat to some other stuff, but hopefully as I get some of the older stuff finished and moved along, I can bring this one into the forefront a little bit more. So that is WIP number 2. I apologize, since this is my second recording, I may forget things. I hope that I don't, but if you have any questions, as always, feel free to leave me a comment, or you can message me either through my email or Instagram. Both of those contacts are usually in my description. So, all right, third WIP is Loyalty, and my version is a mini, and another Heaven and Earth Designs chart. You sense a theme. Artist is Cherie Gerhardt, and I am sitting at 40.1% complete now. And here we are from the first of the year. So this one has definitely gotten a decent chunk done. And because it's a mini, it just, the stitches seem to feel like they go farther, and it's just because it's smaller. But I have put in 5,422 stitches since my last video, and for the year I've done 8,518. So as you could hopefully tell, there's been a decent amount of progress on this one. mostly on this side of the chart. Well, yeah, because I think I finished up this way the last time you saw it. So I came back to the other side and I was getting really tired of the badger's face being only partially completed, so I went ahead and finished it up. And I think it looks so good. Such a cute little face. And then I filled in a lot more of the background here, the stripe, more of the brown and stuff in here. And right here it looks a little funny. Around these symbols, there is just a massive amount of confetti. And then there's also like this same filigree on the side. So I start the confetti here, take it through here, and it ends up over here. So I just kind of follow the colors where they go. And then I also, I think, filled in a couple of colors here around the goblet. But my plan with this one, because I don't want to be stuck with all the boring background to finish, I think I'm going to go like around the outside here, down to the bottom, across underneath the goblet, and come back, or start up at the other side and come back around to get all the background done first. And then I'll come back to the badger and the shield and the goblet, so I don't get bored out of my mind trying to finish it. So I think I could get this one finished next year if I could push it towards like the halfway mark this year. I think I could. So I think the half is like 42,000-ish stitches. I think I could do that in a year, but that's probably ambitious. So, but that is where this one is, coming along nicely. So if you didn't know, this one is part of a series. There's 4 of them that follow the Harry Potter houses from the book series. This one is Hufflepuff, and I'm really looking forward to doing a different one so I can have some different colors to work with. The yellow, brown, and gray aesthetic gets kind of old. So, all right, so that is Mini Loyalty. The next one is Winter Sampler, which is also one of my oldest WIPs. I think this is second oldest. Might be third. I think I started Beloved and Winter Sampler in 2020. But I also restarted this on a different fabric, didn't like it, came back to this one, so it's been a little bit of an adventure. So, all right, Winter Sampler is a Kooler Design Studio pattern, and I believe the designer or the artist was Sandy Orton. I am sitting at 73.32% done, so almost 3/4 of the way through, and I'm stitching mine on a 32 count ivory Lugana 2/2 mostly, but there is like half stitches and quarter stitches and backstitch, oodles and oodles of backstitch. So here is where mine is at now. And hopefully it will be very apparent that there is a large difference here. I have put in 4,790 stitches since my last video, and for the year, 6,223. So definitely have pushed this one forward quite a bit. I have less than 10,000 stitches left. So this is going to be one really, it's the top of the list of what I want to finish. So, but that is the whole design. So let me bring it in a little bit. I can show you some of the areas I worked on. So this was the biggest one by far. So I finished this whole full coverage frame. Has Santa Claus in it. So I finished the tree, his sack, all these toys, this bag satchel thing on his side, and then obviously his outfit and his face. So this it wasn't completely undone. There was a bit in here already, but I finished this. I think this was here, but I brought the ribbon down. I finished this greenery, and then these are holly berries and like pieces of popcorn. With the backstitch, it'll look like it's like a string. And then I finished, I think I had like 1 or 2 threads of this in, but I finished the gingerbread man, got these candies in, and brought the border all the way across. So quite a bit done on this side. And the Christmas section, the stitching, the regular cross stitching is done. love, love, love how that looks. And I'm excited to get the back stitch in. It's really gonna pop. So after I finished that section, I decided to move back up to the February side. Sorry, trying to fold this so you guys can see it better. All right, so this was pretty much done. I just put in like some of this like half stitch shadow stitching that goes around most of the objects. I finished this lace border, came in and filled in some of the white for the snowflakes up here. And then I came in and did those flowers and the leaves and the beginning of that boot slash ice skate. So I love the shading on those flowers. This is part of why I love Kooler Design Studio patterns so much. Like, just the shading is really well done. Fiddly, kind of a pain sometimes, but the end result always looks really good. So next time I work on this, I will probably come in and finish this whole motif, and then I will start working across this gigantic space in the middle of the top and get that scene done. Hopefully by the end of the year. This is a focus on a finish for me. Since I'm under 10,000 and I still have 6 months of the year to go, I think I can do it. At least the regular stitching. I will put that caveat in there. I am not planning to finish all of like the back stitching and everything, just the cross stitching. I think next year that'll be my focus on this one, is to do all the back stitch, all the French knots, and get it fully finished next year. So that was number 4. Number 5 is the crowned heart, which is a modern folk embroidery pattern. And I am stitching mine on a 16 count, I think. 16 count Aida in the color Woodland by Picture This Plus. And mine is being stitched with color 564, I believe. And I am sitting at 30.56% done. And here we are now. Apologies in advance, the light always makes the color look a little funny on the camera. But here's the before and after from the beginning of the year. Since my last video, I put in 3,576 stitches. Yearly total is 4,869. So definitely made a dent in this one. And I made it to the other side. Yay! Sometimes I forget when I stitch on really small counts for a long time that the project is just bigger, and so it feels like these move slower and it takes me longer to like reach the other side of the pattern or like milestones, which duh, but sometimes I forget. So I think the last time you saw it, I was like here-ish, and I had done this crown, the date or the year, and then that, I think that heart too, because I had asked, because this was looking off kilter to me, because when I had to rechart it for the date, it was like uneven on one side, but since I got the rest of it, I think it looks okay. So I was here, so I got all the way over to the side and started moving down, and I added in all this stuff. I added in the month and day, and I switched it because I'm in America, so I did month, day, and put in the start of that heart underneath. But I am trying really, really, really hard not to jump to the middle and get all of that done, because if I do that, then I'm left with just border, and that would be boring to finish. So if I had nothing else to break it up with. So on this one, I am planning to continue to just kind of work top down and try to get as much of the border done before I start working on the middle. And I have charted the names for this. I finally sat down and did that the other day. So right in this top space, that's where my name will go. I'm a little intimidated. I'm a little concerned that I hopefully did my math correctly, but we'll see. So I think I will put my name in. I think that'll be the first thing I do next time, is put my name in and make sure that it's I did all the math right. So that is the crowned heart. Next up is Legend of Zelda, which is an Etsy pattern. I do not remember the shop name off the top of my head, so if you would like that information, I am more than happy to give it to you. Just let me know. But this is being stitched on a 28 count, easy count, gridded fabric, 1/1 full cross. And I always forget to mention, I use DMC basically across the board. I will let you know if I don't use DMC for something, but all these ones that I've showed, yeah, it all uses DMC. So again, Legend of Zelda, and I am sitting at 5.36% done. I'm gonna hold it back a little bit so I can get a decent before and after. I have put in 3,867 stitches since my last video, and for the year, 6,203. This is a very large chart. I think it's 280,000 stitches. And where I'm trying to focus on some of my other full coverage right now, it doesn't get a whole lot of love, but I do try to pick it up at least a couple times a month. Just move it forward like 500 stitches there, 500 stitches. Anytime I can pick it up and just quickly. Sometimes I'll just do like black because it's just faster. So that's why there's like a lot of black done compared to colors, because there's a lot of confetti in the color parts. So I'm gonna bring this in a little bit. Gosh, sometimes there's so much fabric, I'm not sure what to do with it. Okay, so I did put a little bit up here in the top in the black. I try to do like one strand and up here every time I pick it up, so I'm not left with just a crap ton of black at the end. I have put in, so this top red was in there, but I put in this bottom red background square. I did this orange one, and then since where I stitch is generally dictated by my husband, because this is for him, he wanted to see more of the sword coming to life. I asked him if he wanted more outline or to do the sword, because I had outlined like a bunch of his, like his shirt basically is done, so the top half of his body, and I brought this down too, and I asked him, I was like, do you want me to keep outlining or do you want me to color something in? And he wanted to see more of the color in the sword. So I did finish the hilt all the way. Well, there's like a little orange piece right here that didn't get done, but I finished all the blues and purples, which I think look super good. And then I did start filling this in, and then I had to move on to something else. So, but I think it looks pretty good so far. This one is like always a joy to work on. I don't know what it is about it, if it's just because like the outlining and then coloring in feels good to my brain or something, I don't know. But I really like working on it. Okay. All right, next up is Twisted Rainbow Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. Mine is stitched on a 32 count black Lugana, 2/2 full crosses for the cross stitch, and then unless it's satin stitch, I use one strand for the specialty stitches. So mine is the version with specialty bands. So for this one, because Pattern Keeper doesn't read the specialty stitches, just the cross stitches, it says I'm at 29.45% done, which may be about accurate overall, because I've completed 6 plus a little bit of the next one out of 17 bands. So that is about a third, actually a little over a third. So that's not totally accurate. It's just reading my cross stitches, but I don't count specialty stitches and I don't count paper patterns ever. So since my last video, I've put in 2,419 cross stitches, and for the year I've done 3,197. But I have also done, as you can see, from the beginning of the year, I have done, I think from the beginning of the year, I've done two specialty stitch bands. I I think I was somewhere in here at the beginning of the year. So I'm not sure if I've done all 3 of those this year or just 2. But yay for green. I am excited that it's starting to fade into a different color. I love how like these warm colors pop. They look really, really good. But I was getting really tired between the yellow part of the rainbow on Tyro Town 2 plus the yellow theme of loyalty and then yellow on this. I was like, I'm so sick of yellow. So it was nice to move into a different color. So these bands were like satin stitches. And I think this was an eyelet. Can't remember the name of all the stitches now, but I think they look really cool. I love how that's turning out. This will probably be on the docket to be finished next year. I will just try to get as many bands as I can get done this year, even if it's only like 1 or 2 more. That should set me up pretty good for a finish next year. So, all right, next up is Lady of the Mist, which is a Mirabilia pattern by Nora Corbett. And I am stitching mine on a 32 count Lugana in the color Sprite by Picture This Plus, I believe. That is backwards. I'll apologize in advance. The color of the fabric generally gets messed up on the camera a little bit. So it's hard to see it's like a very, very light, like lavendery pink. It's very pretty in person, but so, well, if I hold it up, I guess it's like a white thing. So you can kind of see. Doesn't do it justice on the camera though. It's just one of those fabrics you have to see in person. So as I said before, I do not keep track of paper patterns, which this is one. So I don't have any numbers, but I have done quite a bit more of the pattern and hopefully you will be able to see that with the comparison photo. Let's just leave that out. So here we are from the beginning of the year, and there should be a pretty sizable difference, especially around her face. I finished her face, her neck, and her chest skin, put in the back stitch, which I realized the pattern calls for 2 strands around her face and neck and shoulders, and I was only using 1, but I'm happy with the way it looks, so I don't think I'll fix it. And then I got the flowers in her hair, the flowers in her dress, and then it's a little bit hard to see in person, it pops better, but there's like B5200 right here. I started around the top part of her dress. I think maybe, I might have put a little bit more in here for the greenery, but I honestly am not totally sure about that. So you'll be able to tell. So she's looking very pretty though. Got a little bit intimidated because there was a chart correction, so I had to be aware of that. So I had to be careful when I was stitching. There was a symbol that was wrong. It was supposed to be a blend of like a gray and a blue, and it was calling for like a light purple. So I had to make sure that I caught those. So that was kind of a pain. And then I used variegated floss. I was a little bit hesitant about how the flowers in her hair were turning out with the variegated, and then I had to use it again around these flowers, but I think it turned out better the second time. But you guys can tell me if it looks good. So I really, really like how she's turning out. I am dying to get to her dress. So the next thing I am gonna do is gonna come around and do this like neckline cowl. I'm not quite sure what it would be called. Just this top part of her dress so I can move into the green. I'm trying not to jump ahead. Trying to set myself up for the most enjoyable experience with these. I do need to get back to the greenery a little bit because there's a decent amount. But it's just not as fun as stitching on the fancy lady. This fabric does not like to fold. Okay. All right. And last but not least, WIP number 9 is One Ring to Rule Them All. And this is another Etsy pattern. I think the shop name is Teajeigh Designs, but if you would like a link, I am happy to provide that. And I am sitting at 25.67% complete. So I'm over a quarter of the way done. And I'm stitching mine on a Bestitch Me fabric. It's, Bestitch Me fabric. Apologies. Mine is an 18 count Aida in the color Phoenix. So this is where we're at. So I'm gonna hold this back a little bit because I think the fabric is just so pretty that everybody should admire it. But this is where we're at now from the beginning of the year. So I think there will be a decent change here. I honestly don't remember where I was at the beginning of the year. But I have, since my last video, I have put in 3,217 stitches, and for the year, 4,600. And this is one where I am using a DMC, but it's an etoile. It's 310, but in the etoile instead of just plain DMC. There's a bit of a sparkle in there. It's much, much easier to see in person, which is a bummer, but such is life. Cameras just don't pick it up very well. I really love how this is coming along. I wish you all could see it in person because it's such a pretty contrast. So for this one, I'm trying to remember exactly what I did. I think I started by getting this curly Q going because I was thinking of doing like top down, but if you saw on the pattern mock-up, there is a 2-stitch wide border around the whole thing. I don't think I'm gonna do that. So I was like, okay, if I get rid of that border, then I have a lot of words that need to get done before, because this border does not take very long, because the lines this way are only 1 stitch wide, and it's just these curly Qs besides that. So I think I'm gonna omit the thicker border on the outside. So I came in and started working a lot more on the words. So this top line was done last time, but I added in Elven Kings Under the Sky, and then 7 and that'll be Dwarf Lords in their Halls of Stone. So this stuff on this side is new as well. So I'm just trying to go line by line. Love it, love it, love it. I am dying to watch Lord of the Rings. We have a tradition in our house that we do it at Christmas time. And yes, we watch the extended editions. They actually, which is insane, I saw on my social media, I think it was like Facebook or something, they're doing, and maybe it's across the country, maybe it's just in the West, I'm not quite sure, but they're doing this like mega marathon thing where they play all 3 movies back to back essentially, and it's the extended edition, and they give you a 40-minute break, and like you pay for food as part of your ticket price. So they give you like a 40-minute break between the 3 movies, and then like a 40-minute after to eat your last meal. So it's like an all-inclusive thing, and I'm like, it sounds fun in theory, but I don't know. It's fun for me, just kind of being at home, comfy and all of that. So, but I saw that and I was like, that is for some diehard fans, man. So that is my last WIP. Those are all 9 of my WIPs. So total numbers since my last video, which was a lot more than I thought it would be, for the last 4 months was 36,584 stitches since you last watched my video. And for the year, I'm at 52,654. I don't know how that happened. I think, honestly, because I use this as like a mental break for myself. I use stitching as like a mental break, like mental health thing. I think where my stress has been amped up to 10, like I've needed to take a break and stitch more often. But the first summer. So like they do blocks in the summer. So the first block actually wasn't as rigorous as I thought it would be. I think the second one will be more so, but I've had a little more free time on my hands. So those are my final stitch counts. Those are all of my WIPs. If you want to stick around for just a minute, I am gonna do a little bit of a life update and maybe a plan or two. But if that was all you were here to see was the WIPs, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for coming back, even though I keep disappearing for months on end. I'm really hoping I can get more consistent with it as we get towards the end of the year and my school kind of calms down. So if you're gonna head out, please have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. So I don't have like anything groundbreaking or crazy for life. It's mostly just work. I work 40 hours a week from home in an accounting department, and then for my school, it's probably another 15 to 20 hours a week on school. So I do have 1.5 semesters left. I have finished, except for one assignment, I have finished the first block of summer. Next week is my break between the blocks, and then July 7th I start with block number 2, and that runs through almost the end of August. So once that's done, I have one more semester and then I am done. So I keep trying to tell myself I'm almost there, but I have been in school since March of last year, and I'm at a point where I'm a little burnt out and it feels like it's dragging on forever. So just trying to keep taking it one day at a time. So for me, it's mostly just work and school. Everybody here is doing well. My husband is enjoying his new job. He doesn't love the schedule change. He's on 4/10s instead of 8 hours for 5 days. But he also likes having the 3-day weekend. So what are you gonna do? And then my daughter's doing really well too. She finished her junior year of high school, got that all squared away, and so she'll be starting up as a senior. Still trying to wrap my brain around that one. Yeah, she'll be graduating in a year, so crazy. So just trying to get her set up with that and figuring out college plans and stuff is also kind of taking some of my free time, which is perfectly fine. I love planning all of that stuff with her, but definitely does pull away from my stitching a little bit. So she's doing well. She's just working over the summer. Yeah, so we're all doing well. It's just a little bit chaotic with all of the stuff we have on our plate at the moment. So that's pretty much what's going on in my life. Just gonna be working school till the end of the year, and hopefully, I'm not sure I'll be able to crank out another 50,000 stitches between now and the end of the year, but we'll see. So my plans, though, to segue over there, I don't really have anything hard and fast still. I would really, really like to get the cross stitching done on Winter Sampler. That is definitely high on my list. Everything else, I'm just trying to like push as far as I can push it this year. I have actually already sat down and planned out a little bit for next year. I think I can finish almost all of these. Obviously the full coverage is going to take some time, the big ones, but the non-full coverage, I think I could finish them all next year if I can get them far enough along this year, because none of them, they're all about 25,000 to 30,000 stitches each. And I think even like some of them are less than that. Like my Twisted Rainbow Sampler is less than that. That one's probably closer to like 20,000. So they're all low enough stitch counts. I think I could probably get them all done, the non-full coverages, next year. And I do have plans to start things because I have a very large stash of patterns and things I want to stitch, and I even have fabric and some floss for some of them. But I'm just it's on the back burner for the moment. I don't want to stress myself out or, mess up my plans in any way. But if I do have a new start, I might start something for my birthday, but that's in August and I'm not totally sure. I was thinking I do have a huge piece of 25 count black fabric, and I was very seriously contemplating starting a long dog sampler on that. Maybe Death by Cross Stitch or Variant of Interest. Those are the two that have been circling my head for a little while. So if I start something, it'll probably be something like that, since all I would need is the floss, but we'll see. I'm trying to kind of just cool it this year to get myself through school. So, but I do have a plan, and if it all comes together the way I'd like it to, next year is going to be a lot of fun. So I have rambled long enough. It is now over a 40-minute long video, so I'm going to let you all go. Thank you again. I really sincerely appreciate everybody who comes back, who comments, who writes such kind and wonderful things on my videos. It just warms my heart. I know I am terrible at reacting and commenting back, but I want you all to know that I read everything and I really appreciate it. So thank you for coming back. I hope you enjoyed the WIP parade, and have a wonderful rest of your summer, and I will see you soon. Bye.